Hello guys! So, recently I've discovered that Armor Shred does a shit ton of damage. So, when I put this on my sword, it made a huge difference on my build. And from that, I got the idea on this video, and let's talk about armor. So, while I was doing one video, I just stumbled into a discovery, at least for me. And believe it or not, this sword, no, this, not this, sorry. This sword gives more damage than this sword. And probably than these others, Apogee of Frozen Light as well. Why the F is that? Let's talk about this. I'm gonna compare them side to side for a bit for you guys to see. And you're gonna see that I got Cold Mana Strike build here. And you'll see that my legendary sword has top tier cold penetration, a whole lot of melee and cold damage. And this other sword has less melee damage, a bit of spell damage, some attack speed, normal, and 302% chance to shred armor and hit. So this is a tier 7 affix and the increased stun chance, which is... But I feel like since this point in the game, and I think a lot of other people might do this as well, does not value enough the shred armor. So as I hit, this is a fast attack build, so I'm gonna hit this baby real quick. I can get to like 300 armor shred stacks when I have enchant weapon. Come on. There. And as I tested on enemies, and I'm gonna do a slow-mo test on dummies for you guys to see the damage slowly. First of all, I want to show you guys some numbers, okay? I've come to Tunk Labs and I've clicked here on armors, on defense armor here. And let's check this. So this is armor mitigation by how much armor you get on your character. And you can see that armor has 100% effects of mitigation on physical damage and 70% effect on non-physical damage. What's non-physical damage? Elemental, necrotic, every other that's not physical. Okay. And first, important tip, you see here that there's a kind of a threshold where it stops increasing so much. It increases a lot on the start when you get the armor, and then it stops increasing so much. That's our defense, okay? So you're probably gonna get armor for like 4,000, more or less. Let's see how much I have on my Spellblade. So my Spellblade in an Echo, okay, has 1,300, almost 400 armor. That gives me 29% damage mitigation on physical damage and only 20% on the others. So I have 29 here and all these others are only 20. Okay, that's low. My Spellblade has low armor. I'm gonna have to put more armor on him. And how does last epoch get to that? So first of all, here's the base armor. So you'll see that I have 1,350. That's okay. So that's 28% mitigation. Okay, it's right. And there it says 20%, 19.9, that's it. And it also makes a difference the area level that I'm in. So the higher the area level, the lower the mitigation. okay? That's why when I'm on an echo, even outside, just on the area, that's an area 100, I have 29%, and if you see me come back to Majalka, I'm gonna have more armor. So every time you wanna see your armor, think about that. It's not worth to go on the arena and see there, because there your armor is gonna be higher. And on cities, that's probably the same problem. See, 38%, 26% on others. And Champions Gate, I have 39% armor. So it's not that this isn't true, but here I do not have the armor mitigation per area level. So it's not the damage I'm gonna receive doing echoes and echoes bosses and stuff, okay? When I stack, it goes to 50% because of the passives, but when I stack in the middle of an echo, it's gonna go less. Continuing, so I'm here to talk about armor shred. This was about the armor on us, and about the shred, check out this graph. I have to go back to the Champions Gate. Hang on. So as we're seeing this graph and this threshold reaches the 60% threshold, we can see that in here we apply 70% more damage on our enemies, may they be players or monsters. And on non-physical damage, we apply 49% plus. And that applies on hit, okay? So it's not gonna show in your tooltip. That's why when you're seeing how to deal damage on enemies, you can trust only on the tooltip of the skill. This enemy has an initial armor of 0. So let's put 5,000 here. If an enemy, which is very high, okay? If an enemy has 5,000 armor, then the shred is worth something. It's worth more, sorry. Because you're gonna shred a whole ton of his armor, which is gonna make a decent curve here. And you're gonna make a decent curve with raising his armor. Sorry, with raising your damage. Shredding his armor and raising your damage. All of this actually raises your damage, but this part he stops receiving less damage, and this part he receives more damage, okay? But both of them are definitely worth it. So if an enemy of ours has 5,000 armor, we would have to apply 50 stacks to deal normal damage on him, considering only armor, not resistances. And we need 60-90% more stacks to deal 60% more physical damage and 42% more non-physical damage. And that would be, does it sum up the stacks? Yeah, that sum up the stacks. But still, 94 is very easy to reach on a physical, on my attack speed build. Some builds are not based on attack speed, so it's not that easy. But on my build, it's very easy, and it's 60% more damage. If we sum this with this, saying that he received less 63 damage, so it's practically 60 on 60, he would receive 120% more physical damage, okay? And non-physical damage would be 42 with 40, let's say 44 plus 42, 86%, which is my case. So in my case, when enemy gets my damage, if he had this armor, it would apply 86% more damage onto him. And that's the value of armor shred in any build. We can easily see here that Iron's Penance got less damage than this Apogee of Frozen Light. Okay, I'm gonna use Mana Strike as an example. But the armor shred makes it so that Mana Strike deals a whole lot of damage. This difference made me go from playing to 320 corruption to 500 easily, okay, and probably farther. Why is that? Because this tooltip is the damage I'm dealing. When that applies to the enemy, then you gotta put in his armor and resistances. Okay, so when I shred armor, I showed you guys, I'm dealing 80% more damage, 86% more damage on him. And then I shred resistance, it's 50% more damage on him. Okay, I'm not sure the order, like the damage goes to the armor, then resistances, or resistances, then armor. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna check that for our next video, and I'm also not sure how much armor enemies have for me to make an example with a boss or something. But that's how the things work, and I'm gonna look for these other informations. If any of you have it or know where to find it, please tell me. The fact is, when you're making a strong build, when you wanna make your own build, or you're following someone's build, wanna make it better, do not trust solely on the tooltip. Also think about the applied damage, okay? The damage received by your enemy, because that's make a whole lot of difference. And that's it, guys. I've hoped I've explained everything well. If you have any doubts, any suggestions, any feedbacks, please tell me. Comment them down below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, okay, to keep this job up and keep making stuff. And that's it. I hope you guys like it. See you later.